All right, we're now going to talk about one of the most legendary houses of jazz in the world, baby. The Village Vanguard in Greenwich Village. Originally, Max Gordon opened this thing in 1934 in a smaller location, but there were limited facilities, restrooms and seating and that, and he knew that in order to do the things he wanted to do with his business, he was going to have to get a larger establishment with separate restrooms for men and women and bigger stage area, more seating, etc. And he got that opportunity somewhere in the 40s and moved his place to 7th Avenue in the Greenwich Village area, and started a diet of folk music and comedy. Folk music and comedy. And then a little jazz on Sunday afternoon. Just a little. And the jazz kept growing. And growing and growing. Until about 1957, jazz was the main course, and the folksters and the comics had been relegated to warm-up acts at best. And jazz was king at the Village Vanguard. They even had for a while their own little jazz trio there, just to make sure jazz was always there. But then they started bringing in luminaries, Art Pepper and people like that, and some of the old guys that were around, you know, Prez, and Ben Webster, cats like that, Miles, you know, 57 things are heavily jazz. And yeah, Max is taking care of it. There was this woman named Lorraine who used to go there just to check out the jazz. And one day she saw Max at a little bakery, Bluebell Bakery, and she approached him and said, "You need to book this new genius, Thelonious Monk, in your club." Well, she must have been very persuasive because he did. And let's just say he booked Monk for a solid week. And nobody came. Nobody. Not other musicians, not critics, not even his standard customers. But not to be afraid, Lorraine insisted, and she kept pushing Monk as this great genius until eventually Monk grew to be the great genius we know him to be. And it was all because of the influence of Lorraine. Now, during this time, Lorraine is also working on another project, and that project is Max himself. And pretty soon, Lorraine becomes Lorraine Gordon. And then she really has influence on what happens with the entertainment. And people start recording live at the Vanguard because, again, it sounds good, just like a lighthouse. And Bill Evans had a great album there. And so did John Coltrane. And according to Blue Note executives, one of the best ways to get sales on a live album, a live jazz album, is to have in the title Live at the Vanguard, or Live from the Vanguard, or Night at the Vanguard, or Nights at the Vanguard. Just the name Village Vanguard gave the work of every jazz musician credibility. And that is because of the influence that Lorraine Gordon had on her husband, Max, and he has several albums live on the Village Vanguard. Everybody who could did. Going back to Roy Ulrich, whose performances there really brought the first real recognition to the Vanguard as a really credible jazz venue. Now, Max eventually died. And when he did, Lorraine closed the Vanguard for one day. And then she opened it back up, and jazz was happening again, and jazz is still happening at the Village Vanguard. And it claims to be the oldest continuously run jazz club in all of New York. The Thad Jones, Mel Lewis Big Band had a Monday night gig from the 60s up until 1990. And then the band transitioned into the Vanguard Jazz Orchestra. Ravi Coltrane, son of John Coltrane, actually performed in this venue that his father had made so famous so many years before. And I think Ravi played there like in 2013. In 2017, 2018, Cecile McLaurin Savant, who is actually from Miami, Florida, recorded several tracks for her album Dreams and Daggers at the Village Vanguard. And in 2018, that album won a Grammy for Best Jazz Vocal Performance, which shows you that even today, the Village Vanguard stage can produce great jazz recordings, even those that are worthy of Grammy nominations and awards. And once again, that young, great artist that I've seen more than a few times, she's just awesome. Her name is Cecile McLaurin Savant. Dreams and Daggers. Go get it now, because most of it was recorded live at the Village Vanguard, baby. Thank you.